Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another Let's Play of Scrolls, where you may notice my screen is a little bit different. I got invited to the test server, which is very exciting. I'm very appreciative of Mojang for letting me do that. You can see there's some features such as having a friends list and all of that that are on the test, but what I'm more interested in showing today is Decay, now that I've had a chance to roll with it just a little bit. It's a very interesting deck. I've tried to make something that fits my playstyle, and so far it's been fairly successful, although so far I've only been able to pit myself against the AI. So we'll see kind of how that goes. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the deck I've built so far, which is largely creature based. I'm not entirely happy with how it plays, but there are some good cards that I could possibly expand or contract. As you can see, I have a collection of every single card in the game, yay, but that's not why I'm here. And I will tell you once again that two things about the test server. First off, this is spoilers for stuff that's coming on, but on top of that, just keep in mind that this is still test. Everything is subject to change. So let's talk Decay. Decay is a resource that relies primarily on doing lots of damage, killing lots of things, and hey, what do you know, that sounds like the rest of Scrolls, but the way they do it is a little more interesting and classy. Now, the first creature I decided to put in here, like I said, this is a very creature-heavy deck, is Blightbearer. I'm still not entirely sold on how I feel about him. He is a 3/4 for 3, which is very good. He does do poison damage to himself every time before he attacks, so this is essentially a suicide squad. If you play him with Miasma Well, he's going to die a lot faster than if you play multiple Miasma Wells, which is what I try and do here. You're going to have a Blightbearer who's pretty much going to go poof almost immediately, and that might be what you want. Another card, Brain Lice. So far I've had pretty good use for it. It is pretty high budgeted to draw one scroll, but keep in mind that this synergizes very well not only with Miasma Well, but it is poison damage that's persistent, not just for 3 rounds as far as I know. It just keeps going and going. And note that when the enchanted creature is destroyed, it's draw one scroll. That's any form of destruction. Keep that in mind, that's going to be important later. Cursemonger. Ranged attack, can put curse on a unit, which is 2 additional damage. So far have not actually played the Cursemonger haven't had as much cause to play with Curse. This is a card that I'm kind of borderline about. It's 3/4 for 4 resources, which is not bad, has some utility, and I like that additional utility to debuff units if possible. Damning Curse is a very important card. It's going to be very valuable, especially for Decay decks, not only for removal for 4 resources, which is awesome, but also for dealing 1 damage to opponents, or to your own creatures, which you are going to want to kill some of your own creatures. You can see this is an incredibly creature-heavy deck. Draining Mist is a card that I kind of underestimated. Yes, it is vulnerable to cards like Rally and Speed Generals and things like that, but if you need to slow down something's countdown to try and lock down things a little bit, this is one way Decay can do it. I actually really do like the card because it increases the countdown by 2. Now, there are counters to it, but so far it's been pretty good to me. It's the card that I only have 2 of, though, because it's a little situational. Ilmar Hunter, keep him... I was on the fence about this card. Slayer is still really, really, really good, but the 2 attack here, it kind of makes the card a little bit... I wouldn't really be opposed to seeing this card put up to 5 resources just because of the Slayer mod, but it is kind of just a wet noodle of a card without the Slayer, but I guess that's how it's supposed to work. Still, in my hand, I'm going to be working hard to get these as soon as Decay comes up, and chances are with my little pile of cash it's not really going to be happening too much. Ilmar Rot Eater is kind of a tough card to use so far. You kind of have to plan for it around hoping what your opponent does, because adjacent units, if they die, they get 1 attack, 1 health. Now, there is a card that will synergize with that very well. I'm not playing it right now, but it is not Restless Bones. It starts with a G. This is all alphabetized. Grizzly Graft, which enchant the creature, any adjacent creature dies, give health and attack equal to the number of creatures sacrificed. That death should apply to the Ilmar Rot Eater. I could play both of those to try and get some synergy going. Still thinking about it, though. So let's see here. The Ilmar Witch Doctor is a card that I don't really know about. It's 6 resources for a 5/5, so it's a beefy unit, which is good. The Husk ability, though, I am playing a lot of humans, that's one reason I am, but the Husk ability hasn't really done a lot of mileage for me. Although it is kind of funny, I did learn last test game I did, if a Blight Bear becomes a husk, that husk gets poisoned. So I found that pretty interesting. Infectious Blight is a lot of fun with Miasma though, because if you can get multiple of these on the board, they can actually jump to the same creature, but it is kind of a roaming poison that'll keep going. But keep in mind that one reason this card isn't necessarily as strong and maybe could be considered a little over budgeted, actually probably not over budgeted, just because it's persistent, is that the damage, it has to be killed by poison. So the Infectious Blight will end if, say, it gets to a super buffed unit and you happen to kill it with direct damage. So that's where it's a little bit different than Brain Lice, but still, if it dies from the poison damage, it hops, 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 which is where Miasma Well's really nice there. Languid is a great card. There's a lot of units that only have 2 attack, and you can lock them down and get an additional scroll, so they become essentially walking units, though beware the God Hand, I guess. Life Stealer, did not mention this card in my preview. I think I just brain farted or forgot. 4/5 for 5, excellent card. Heals anytime it hits, or it heals anytime it destroys a unit. So that'll be fully healed, and 4 damage is going to be enough to destroy a lot of units. Note that it's a unit. I don't know. Actually, since it says unit, that might be a structure as well. I'll have to test that and see. Lumbering Muckhead is a really fun card. It is for creatures dying on you or your opponent, and this is where doing something like a lot of damning curses can really be a big deal. Of course, Necrogeddon doesn't matter because it destroys everything, but the real value early in the game for this card is the 3 resources for a 6 health wall, and the threat of if a bunch of creatures die, you keep going. But the other probably the most important thing of all is that it probably has my favorite attack animation of any unit in the game, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that today. Oblivion Seeker, I'm liking this card a little bit better. You can see where Mojang is starting to budget a little harder on scroll draw here. I was very surprised at first that this costs 5 resources, but when it dies it gets 2 scrolls. This is a very good frontline blocker just because it makes your opponent think, well, do I want to kill him and get 2 scrolls? It's pretty much like a free, I guess, is it Heritage? God, I'm forgetting the cards because I'm not looking at them, even though I have 144 order cards in my hand. Soul Steal, good removal for tiny squishy units. That removal also applies to Lumbering Muckhead. Staggering Muckhead, I could have put Husk in here. The reason I did not put Husk is that Husk is slow. Slow, and I can control it versus fast and maybe a little bit of a random element. 1 health versus 2 health, they're still pretty equally squishy. Didn't put the Mangy Rat, although I will try a rat deck on the test server if I have a chance later. But yeah, here's the deck. Notable exceptions to things I didn't put in. There's really only 1 or 2 that I want to point out. Curse Hex is interesting. All units on tile and all adjacent tiles get Curse 1. That's pretty interesting to me. But I haven't found as much use for it just yet. Viscera Sage, I may put it back in. I'm kind of flipping between removing some other cards, like maybe even the Witch Doctors, and putting these back in. It's just that the 2/2/2, it's not like a Chemfolk Brave, and maybe I'm spoiled by that. It's slow, and to get the scroll draw, it actually has to get the Killing Blow, which is hard to pull off sometimes. Doesn't always happen. Mire Curse is interesting, except it can be played around. The enchanted unit deals 1 poison damage to adjacent units at the beginning of each turn. So if you deal poison to an isolated unit, I don't know. Maybe if I'm going for more poison damage, I may include it back in. Loyal Darkling is another card that could be good just for direct idle damage. I will try a more direct idle damage deck later just to see how it works. And how can I forget the one card that I didn't mention in all of this, Necrogeddon, the very controversial total removal, opponent draws 2 scrolls. And I think that opponent drawing 2 scrolls might be the saving grace of this card. I don't know. It may be under budgeted. Destroying all creatures is a kind of ridiculous power to have, but getting your opponent 2 scrolls is kind of the anti-Quake, if you will. So I'm on the fence, leaning towards saying this might need to be changed. Might even need to be 3 scrolls or something. But the total removal mechanic at least does fit Decay, because in most end games I've been able to get a ton of creatures out and kind of dominate the board. But we'll see how that rolls. So I'm just going to save this deck one more time, and we're just going to go to the arena. There's not really too many people on because test server is dying. I don't know. That's not true at all. Alright, so I actually had to stop recording in the middle of my first match, and it never started recording, but I actually got my ass handed to me by the hard AI playing Growth. So now I get to play against the hard AI playing growth again. So we'll see if maybe I can redeem myself here. I thought I was starting off pretty well, but what I kept running into is that this deck was a little bit slow against growth. So what is my least high priority unit here? Probably the Rod Eater. I don't know. Like I said, it's not a card that I'm completely sold on here, but at least I get to go first and I get to get out this nice leggy guy who's going to move randomly every time he attacks. But at least he is something that puts pressure on the board early, as right away the hard AI doesn't have a lot going on for it. I don't need 2 Oblivion Seekers. They're not going to be coming out right away. I'll save that languid for possibly a Brother of the Wolf. Not Brother of the Wolf. A Kinfolk Brave that is actually not coming. So interesting. So this is pretty neat right here. Since it's growth, I could use the Ilmire Hunter, but it's not necessarily as effective as maybe something else. Oblivion Seeker's good to keep too. Languid's free card draw. I'm going to get rid of the Hunter. So that way I can play the Muckhead. I'd love to have 2 Muckheads out early, just because I want to see what's going to happen here. Let me actually hit Control to show you all the stats here. Because if I can get 2 Muckheads out early, it's going to be pretty tough for my opponent to do a whole lot here. So I'm just taking care of the first thing that I can. Let's actually sack this Muckhead. He doesn't do a lot for me here, and we may be playing this other Muckhead next turn or any other precious card. So sacking for resources. There's our first Kinfolk Veteran. Keep in mind this is a 6 health wall, but that's pretty much all it is. So we're going to get rid of the Witch Doctor here. Let us go ahead and... I probably should have moved that in a way that... Oh crap, I've just blocked it in because it moves randomly. I gotta remember these key details. Because if I want this guy to try and attack down here, I could have played some units to possibly make that happen in Soul Steal next turn. Now it's just going to attack an idol, and there's not a lot I can do about it. So let's go ahead and play the other Muckhead. Want things to die, and now this thing is actually standing in a place where it can get killed either by this guy. Oh yeah, he's just going to move it up. Is he going to summon a Ragged Wolf? Might as well, as there's a Great Wolf too. So there's 1 unit down. Both of these countdowns are going to shrink just a little bit, but if I'm not careful, there's a Necrogeddon too, so pretty nice. We're actually going to opt to not Soul Steal that wolf, which is a calculated risk. We do get Damning Curse. That's going to be pretty useful. I'm going to see if we can bait into a little more card draw this turn though. So like I said, this is a deck that I'm still trying to figure out, or I don't know if I've said that this time. I definitely said it last recording. 2 Great Wolves from the AI though is just going to be really tough to deal with right now. So this could be a Necrogeddon City here in just a minute, but I'm going to do my best to avoid it if I can. As let's see here, we're going to put... You see, I'm not really using these staggering Muckheads. They're not even great chump blockers, so I may eliminate those from the deck and put those 2 health, those 2/2/2 units back in. So we're not going to... Or actually, you know what? I am definitely going to Damning Curse this turn, as much as I want to play the Blight Bear down there. Let's not get cute with our stuff. We want to save our guys as much grief as possible. I'd love to get the card draw, but I don't want to do the damage to my other unit if I can avoid it. So computer probably has a Rally Crimson Bull here or something, as he's putting out more wolves, more wolves. How many Great Wolves is that? That's 3 Great Wolves on round 8. So pretty tough bones just to deal with anyway. As we get now a Blight Bearer up here, and we get an Ilmire Witch Doctor as well. I'm going to ditch the Witch Doctor, as weird as that sounds. Okay, so I can do the Blight Bear, Miasma, Infectious Blight, any of that combo. But if I move this down here, this well might die. So let's go ahead and play Infectious Blight up here. And let's go ahead and play the well down here and hope that he can't attack and kill it. Yay, little bits of damage. It's like, please kill me. So there's a Mangy Wolf. So right now this thing is almost screwed, as all these Great Wolves are going to attack. It's So good that not even can do anything about it. I get 2 Necrogeddons. We'll see if that does anything useful. We get actually poked just a little bit. I need to be killing creatures to knock down that cooldown. So let's go ahead and kill some creatures. Now I gotta be mindful of the health of these units here, because I don't want the Blight Bear there. I have 2 Necrogeddons. Probably don't need the Curse Monger as much. Another card that I don't find myself using. That, too terribly much. So let's see, we will get a little bit of extra card draw, possibly. I could Damning Curse and take out one of these guys. Could Brain Lice and put the Rod Eater. I want to put the Rod Eater down here more to protect than anything, but if I'm going to do that, I might as well use the Blight Bear to do it, and at least poison some things while I'm at it. So there we go, I have 2 Necrogeddons. I do have some comeback cards here. I really want to see these guys attack. I really, really, really want to see these guys attack. But I don't think that's going to happen, which sucks. So there you go. He's going to kill one of them. Is he going to kill both? Please don't kill both. Oh no, he's not. Thank you, AI. I don't know why I'm calling you a he, but I am. So there we go. I can Damning Curse, and I can do all kinds of damage here. Because Damning Curse, what that does, drops their cooldown to 0, so now they get to attack. So what's going to be best? This guy's going to die to the Blight. This is going to be enough damage here. You're actually on the verge of dying. So we will drop you here. Just to play it safe, we're going to play Languid here. Get a card draw, get another Blight Bear. Probably don't need 2 Necrogeddons at this point. Let's sack for resources. I have plenty of cards that I can play next turn. But for now, these biggins are going to do their job. Ready, break. Beautiful attack. I love that animation. That is just so awesome. I'm too excited. I'm sorry. Something actually worked. And there's the Fertile Soil, and that knocks their cooldown down even more. And please tell me you're actually going to be smart. Oh, AI. You are after my heart right now. Okay, so doing the Crimson Bull combo there. This guy's going to be not poisoning a lot, so we're just going to go ahead and move him up to at least take out an idol. We're going to get another Muckhead on the board. Actually, before we do that, what do I want to get rid of? Let's get rid of the Blight Bear right now. As I get another Necrogeddon, Draining Mist is going to be very useful, but once again, he can play around. The AI can play around that with rallying. But we'll go ahead and get down the Muckhead. And you know what? Let's see here. Kind of debating. If I put down the Infectious Blight, that'll go ahead and kill this guy. Or I can take out the Wolf. Probably better to do this, because it's going to bounce from one to the other. And play the Rod Eater next turn, hoping that he can't just kill me here. So that's 2 damage to you. If I had played the Rod Eater right there, and he played some kind of Ragged Wolf or speed play, be able to get that up there, but instead we get a Jarl. And we get a Ragged Wolf. Ragged Wolf's going to take out the Miasma Well, which is unfortunate for me, but I keep telling myself, well, how is there so many Ragged Wolves in play? But the answer to that's pretty simple. We had 2 Brothers of the Wolf spamming them like crazy before. So, let's see here. Let us start by dropping. Let's go ahead and get rid of a Necrogeddon here. I can't do everything this turn, but I can Soul Steal. Poop. Don't know why I just said poop to that, but I did. We're going to go ahead and move both of you all up. And I will move you, I guess, since you're going to attack next turn anyway. Over here, I could put the Ilmar Rod Eater next to him just to see if he dies regardless. But it's probably better. Well, we'll try this. I'm experimenting. I don't really know what I'm doing with Decay. So, I'm going to take out a second idol. Boom, boom. So it's kind of unfortunate you didn't get to see the first game, because I did get my ass handed to me by the AIs. I hope the glitching on the right side of my screen isn't showing too bad. As we get 2 Jarls, which is a little scary. And we do get a Miasma Well. Do we have the jumping right now? No, I think the jumping poison got destroyed here. So we don't really need the Miasma Well at this stage. The Oblivion Seeker is going to be good. The Life Stealer is going to be good. I think Draining Mist is probably the more important play at this point. So let's go ahead and drop you down here, drop you up here. You'll die, you'll poison, and this thing won't get to attack because we're going to go ahead and slow him down just a little bit. So just interesting choices for what to play here. I do like these Muckheads having 6 health, but they also have kind of a slower cooldown, so we'll see what we can make of this. We're going to drop the Oblivion Seeker up front, just in case we can try and get some card draw. Life Stealer is going to be good too, but you die, you're poisoned. Cool, cool. And this is now a 4/4 creature, just by manipulating the poison mechanic. So you just gotta kind of watch and see what you can play here. As, are we going to get a God Hand or Rallying or something ridiculous? We get a Dryatic Power. I love it when someone Dryatic Powers and locks them down into 1. Idol, oh my god, 2 Dryatic Powers. You are currently not worth it. Not even worth the trouble. So I'm going to lose this Idol. There's nothing I can do about it. That's okay though. Let's look for some more cards. We get another Languid. Probably best to play that on a... Ooh, you know what? Let's get real cute here. If the AI really wants to take this Idol, it's just going to have to go through something else. So let's card draw. Might save the Life Stealer for next turn. Actually, we do get Brain Lice. Sounds super exciting when you put it that way, but it's really not. I don't think anyone really wants Brain Lice, but we are going to go ahead and drop these guys down here. Drop you forward. And you're going to die from poison anyway, but at least if I attack, you will not die in vain. Okay, I probably should have kept some units up there just to try and block his movement from going down. Not a huge deal, though. Not a huge deal at all. As now I have more on the board, I still can Necrogeddon. We have the damn Ancestral Totem again. I'd love to be able to kill something this turn, as there we go. We are possibly going to win next turn. We are going to possibly win this turn. All I need is just 1 more damage. And I don't have direct idol damage in this deck. So let's see. And I don't have any like super speedy haste units. So as much as I want to take down that last idol, probably taking down that Jarl is a little more important. So we're going to do this. And maybe live to fight another day here. So we'll get down 1 Life Stealer. Just try and put some pressure here. It's interesting for the AI to try and defend these places. Once again, I'd love to get idol damage. That Jarl's a little scarier though. You're all poisoned, so you're all going to die eventually and lower the cooldown. Let's see here. So it says when a creature dies. That's it for the Muckhead. Only creatures. But if 1 more creature dies, if the AI does anything to kill a creature, this guy is going to attack. And I may be able to manipulate this unit into moving into the only lane I want it to. So he's going to kill it, and he's going to Mangy Wolf as well. So that's interesting. Kinfolk Brave. Interesting. Kinfolk Brave. So you are massing along these lines for reasons I'll never quite understand. If I had moved this blobby up here, I could have actually ended this game. To that I say FFF. I do not want to Damn Curse because that'll kill this guy. So yeah, that sucks. I could have ended it just by moving this unit up 1 and having my choice of idols. But I didn't. So yay, misplay. Feel free to tell me what else I'm screwing up in the comments. So let's go ahead and I probably don't need... I kind of want Slaying, I guess. Cursemonger, Ilmire Hunter, just a lot of the same cards at this point, which is okay. Let's go ahead and slow you guys down just a little bit. Just so this card doesn't necessarily get attacked this turn. And I guess I'll just put some pressure down here to try and get him to do something, because I currently, if I'd moved the slime up once, it'd be GG. I do have Necrogeddon, though, and I am in a pretty good situation. Would be better if I could go ahead and just end this game. Now, the last time I played the hard AI, he was quaking like a motherfucker. And if he quakes here, he's fucked. Because that'll drop this guy's cooldown completely. So there we go. This line of units, if he got hands, that's going to be pretty hilarious. There's a rally. It's going to be pretty hilarious. And actually, that rally may have won me the game almost. Not quite. Okay. So this is an interesting time to break down what's going on. As we have a bunch of Kinfolk Braves that are going to be attacking again. I don't really want to damn and curse if I can avoid it, but I don't think I can, so me not being able to end the game before, a little bit of a tough spot. So that you're all just going to keep going and going. Actually would really like some beefier units here if I can get them. But we will start with this. And just try and drop some cooldown just a little bit. And I'm putting the Miasma Well, I can't move you actually, so I'm going to put the Miasma Well down just to protect more than anything. Actually, I do want a Brain Lice first. And I can do that to kill the sister, but it'd have to be next turn. So I want to try and deal with this guy if I can. Couldn't drop the Miasma Well with it as well, but that's okay. As long as he doesn't God Hand, I guess it's okay. So I really thought the rally there was going to kill more of my units. So and once again it comes down to, I could have had this game done. But now I have to watch the damage that I do to my units, because I have my muckheads who have been super happy this whole time. We have another veteran. Interesting place to place the veteran. I don't know exactly what you're thinking, computer. Stagheart. Now that's interesting. And that is not quite going to kill my Lifestealer. Oh yeah, it actually killed my Lifestealer and replaced it. Okay, so we're getting lots of attacks. Lots and lots of attacks. Can I end the game here, I guess is my other question. And the answer to that riddle is yes. All I have to do, damn and curse. Yay, I'm actually figuring things out, because I can do 7 damage to the bottom row. Damn and curse on the Sister of the Fox actually gives me enough damage to take out 2 idols, which is pretty hilarious. Especially if I oh my god, I didn't even have to damn and curse, I could have just soul stole. Oh well, that's okay. So we'll just go ahead and take you, yoink. And we'll drop a Miasma Well just for fun, because who doesn't like a good Miasma in the morning? As we get the additional, let's see here. Adjacent creatures, when they die, you get 1 extra health. Somehow you got 1 extra attack and 1 extra health. I'll have to look at the replay and see how exactly that worked. Oh, of course, duh. Because this guy died. I'm so stupid. I'm just so excited to win. And how many times did I have to cast Neck again in that time? Not really a ton. Right there. Still learning the deck, still trying to figure it out, but the hard AI, at least growth, is a pretty good test. But this is Way to Fail with Decay. I'm on the test server. I'm still going to be doing plenty of games on the normal server as well, because like I said, I want to be able to build up my gold amount to be able to actually get these cards and run a competent Decay deck when it comes out. But I thought you all might enjoy a good look at it, and hopefully this does qualify as a good look despite a few of my mistakes. But that's it for now. I will see you all next time.